Everybody, and welcome to this special webinar on lead and zinc challenges and opportunities. Before going to this webinar, I would shortly explain about the Asian Metallurgy event. Asian Metallurgy was originally designed and executed as a ground exhibition coupled with a conference. But after COVID, we transformed all our events onto digital platform, and so was Asian Metallurgy. And this now digital Asian Metallurgy happens every year in the month of December, and it has got two modules. One is a webinar series which we are doing from 8th December to 13th December, covering various topics like today's lead and zinc. We discussed decarbonization. We discussed about the auto industry future. We discussed about stainless steels, like that. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about digitalization and AI. So various topics related to metallurgical industry we are discussing through these various webinars. And today's topic is also very special topic: lead and zinc challenges and opportunities. As you know, as I told in the inauguration session, the foundation of any civilization is metallurgy, and without metallurgy, or without metals for that matter, we cannot expect a civilization to grow. And as civilization grows, it requires not only steel and copper and steel and copper and gold and silver, but it also requires other metals. These other metals are also gaining a lot of prominence in coming in the recent years, and these include lead as well as zinc. So the zinc and lead, especially zinc, they are alloyed with many other metals and are used in the industry for many applications. Lead is also, I feel that it will grow in coming years and it will have new applications, and it is already on that path. So taking into consideration, we have conceptualized this lead and zinc challenges and opportunities this webinar, and we have experts on this subject to contribute in the thought process and share their insightful inputs. I would welcome Mr. L. Pugazanti. Mr. L. Pugazanti needs no introduction in metallurgical sector, not only nationally but internationally. He has been former president of IIM. Now he is executive director of ILSDA, Lead Zinc, Indian Lead Zinc Development Association. And generally, he is aware of the all happenings in the metallurgical industry in India, abroad also. So thank you very much, Mr. Pugazanti, for sparing your time. Second time in this webinar series, he was there in the inauguration session as well, and so sparing time again for us. And he has always been supportive to our activities. Thank you very much, Mr. Pugazanti, for being with us. Then we have Mr. Rahul Sharma, Dr. Rahul Sharma, sorry. Dr. Rahul Sharma is the Director India for International Zinc Association. So, did I say something wrong, sir?
Okay.
Yeah, so his inputs as far as zinc industry is concerned are very important to us. Thank you, Dr. Sharma, for sparing your time and being with us. Welcome to you. And we have Mr. Sandeep Ramesh, who is a managing director of Nile Limited, who are the leading producers of lead in this country. So thank you very much, Mr. Sandeep, for joining and sparing your time. And we'll need your inputs as far as the lead industry is concerned. But now I will start the conversation, and naturally, my first guest, today's speaker, would be Mr. Pugazanti. Sir, what is the status of lead and zinc industry? You would say separately lead industry and zinc industry. Over to you, Mr. Pugazanti.
Thank you, Mr. Chandekar. It's always nice to be there in your webinar. Apart from joining your inaugural function on 8th, I was there last year also in your webinar on this lead and zinc session. And I must compliment you. You are holding the flag for metals for a very long time. Not only steel, lead and zinc, even aluminum extrusions, etc.
Yes.
In India, in Dubai, you do commendable work. And I must appreciate on behalf of Rahul and Sandeep.
Thank you, sir.
Single-handedly with your secretariat, running a publication, Metal World, Steel World, webinars like this, I know during the next 2 days, you're talking about digitalization, AI, apart from metals, etc. It's a wonderful contribution. And I'm sure the students community and the industry, they all join and learn from these webinars. Coming to your question on lead and zinc, the current scenario, future, I would say, Chandekar Saab, this is the best of times for metals as a whole. With the GDP, second quarter GDP at 8.2%. Can you believe this is a record GDP anywhere in the world? We were 6.5, 7, etc. 8.2 second quarter. Then you had your GST reforms by the finance minister. Then came the festival mood in the country. Do you know what happened during the festival mood? Cars witnessed the highest sales in 1 month, October. Two-wheelers, same story. Appliance, again the same story. So everywhere metals are being used, whether it's appliance or car or scooter or passenger vehicle, whatever. So I would say this is the best of the times for metals, I would say. And coming to the future, next 3 months, January, February, March, most of the allocated funds for various projects by the government, central and state government, whatever they announce for the financial year, that remaining funds will be used in next 3 months. They would not like to carry forward. So whether it is roads or PWD or highways or railways or defense or electricity board, everywhere the funds will flow in the next 3 months across the, and you know, government is the largest consumer of metals.
Yeah.
Private sector does consume in manufacturing, etc. But government as a whole, national highway projects and railway electrification project, renewable energy mission, everywhere is the government fund. Industry also is a player there, but the funds are largely released by the government sector. So I believe this next 3 months is going to be raining for metals. And lead and zinc, they are doing record battery sales during the last 1 or 2 months was really a great achievement. Lead batteries. And wherever steel is used, most of them are galvanized, whether it's GI pipe or galvanized sheet or GI wire, nuts and bolts being galvanized, GI buckets, etc., galvanized sheet, color coated sheet, everywhere it is zinc. So zinc is all over. Only thing is not visible, or people are not aware it is zinc coated. Awareness is lacking. And zinc has got some remarkable properties. Excellent corrosion protected that gives a long maintenance free life. That's about zinc. And as far as lead is concerned, lead battery is used everywhere. It's such a safe product, affordable product. There are no fire or safety risk, etc. in lead battery. So both of them are doing well, and I foresee, not because I'm a lead zinc man, I'm portraying a bright picture. The ground reality is it is very favorable for all metals. That's my comment. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Pugasanti. And that is very heartening to know that the good times are ahead of metal industry. And to just adding to that, a lot of people now debate that one of the major reasons why recession cannot touch India is the festival. Is the festival. So many festivals, and that boost economic activities and economic, eventually GDP also.
Yeah.
So that is one of the reasons why recession is not
And also very
reaching.
low, also very low inflation in the country.
Absolutely, that I think that government has succeeded in controlling the inflation. So good times for metals. Anyway, Dr. Rahul, what do you think? Do you agree with Mr. Pook or something
Yeah,
else is there?
absolutely. First of all, thank you, Mr. Chandekar, for giving me an opportunity to speak in this webinar series. And Pok sir, you rightly mentioned, he's a well-known figure in the Indian zinc and lead industry. Everyone knows. So whatsoever he said, I completely agree with Pok sir's view. that India has achieved a record GDP growth of 8.2% in the second quarter, and things looks quite favorable. Government is very serious, and government is focusing on construction and infrastructure activities. So you must have seen, that metro infrastructure, airport infrastructure that is being developed across the country. Across the country. So yes, time is very promising, and I will say this is the most exciting time for the metal industry. If you talk about the zinc industry, I will say that zinc market faces a mix of immediate challenges related to supply chain dynamics and global economic factors,
Mm.
alongside significant long-term opportunities driven by the global push for sustainability and new energy technologies. So, being a global commodity, really, not a single country can uh, drive it, right?
Yeah.
Because it is mined in North America, it is mined in Europe, it is mined in Australia, mined in India, mined in South Africa. So yes, there will be a pressure on the demand side, rather supply side will be more. So there will be a net surplus of zinc. That what ILSRO, International Lead Zinc Research Organization, they have anticipated in 2025 as well as 2026. So if you look at the current LME rate, the prices are a bit under pressure, like 28, 2900. But I think once the Ukraine-Russia war will be over, and Europe will start getting, the energy, what do you say, from the Ukraine and from Russia, then probably the electricity prices will come in Europe and the smelters will start working in the full capacity. So that's about the zinc market, globally. Yeah.
Dr. Rahul, I would like to ask you also that these are good times for zinc. I agreed, but these are not the times to be relaxed. No, we have to innovate. We have to do something which will make us more competitive in the world market. What is that is which is required today? What do you think?
Yeah, so
Because
there's
lot I just adding that a
yeah,
lot of alloys are now being designed, getting zinc as a alloy element, and lot of new applications are being conceived. So please tell us about that also.
absolutely. So from International Zinc Association perspective, like we have pool of international experts,
Yeah.
uh, you know, and these experts are very specialized in a particular domain. And then we hire labs and we also take help of universities in Europe and North America and India also. And we develop technology, and that's how we transfer it to various stakeholders. So regarding the new technology, a lot of new things are coming up with zinc. For example, you talked about the alloys. So the
Yeah.
recent addition in the alloy series is the ZAM, zinc aluminum magnesium.
Hmm.
So zinc aluminum magnesium, obviously it's a new alloy, but results are very promising. On laboratory scale, we have observed that if GI gives a life of say X times, then GL gives life of 2X times, and ZAM, it gives life of almost 4 to 5X.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And whereas the price wise, there is not much difference. And in India, JSW, ArcelorMittal, Nippon Steel AMNS, and Tata, they have
Hmm.
already started manufacturing ZAM. Not Tata. Tata line will start from next year.
Hmm.
But various Chinese producers, they have started manufacturing ZAM in Europe. It's a very established product. So yes, this is a recent addition in the galvanized coated sheet market, ZAM.
Hmm.
So that's it. And if you talk about the other technologies, I will say is like zinc die casting.
Hmm.
So zinc die casting historically, zinc was more consumed in the die casting sector than aluminum. Then slowly aluminum to catch up with zinc, and
Hmm.
because of the lighter weight, it
Hmm.
substituted zinc. Because all the
Hmm.
automobile companies, they were under tremendous pressure to reduce the BIW weight, body in white weight.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the zinc die casted products get replaced by aluminum over a period of time. So now again, International Zinc Association, we have introduced high fluidity alloys. These are a new series of alloy uh, where you can make very thin components, maybe zero point 0.2 mm, zero point 0.2 mm thin component like the back cover of the mobile covers. That's one example. So, and in the high fluidity alloys, again, there is a recent development that our scientists, they could manage to construct zinc die-casted components with a zinc foam technology, right? So
Okay.
zinc foam, there will be zinc foam. So material will be much lighter. You can say it can compete with the aluminum die castings. So
Okay.
these are the new and latest developments. Then another development is the nowadays you have seen that galvanizing is silver, dark grayish. You can say dark grayish. That's the original color of the zinc. The scientists are working on colored galvanizing.
Okay.
That means in the same bath, you put some sol gel compounds and get a desired color like red color, blue color, green color of galvanizing. So these
Looks
sort of
actually.
developments. So time is very exciting. Let's see, maybe
Yeah,
in
yeah, yeah.
3, 4 years, we will see in the market these products. Yeah.
Very interesting, Dr. Rahul. These are, that is the difference between ferrous and non-ferrous industries. This ferrous industry is mostly bulk driven, volume driven. But this non-ferrous industries, aluminum, zinc, lead, they are, tailor-made applications and very specific, intricate metallurgy is there and very specific applications also. Very interesting, very interesting. And just incidentally, I remember. That in ancient times also this fractional distillation
Yeah.
was invented in India and it has gone from India to Europe. That
Absolutely.
is the purify in the process of purification of zinc, which is the fractional distillation, was invented in nowhere else but India. So
Zawar in Rajasthan.
yes. So we are the one of the, I would say, pioneers in innovation in zinc technology. So very good to hear from you, Dr. Rahul, that these innovations are helping our society to go further. And now I will turn to Mr. Sandeep Ramesh. Mr. Sandeep Ramesh, tell us something about the lead industry in specific, the current status. Of course, Puk sir has narrated something, but you can also add to it. And the innovation, new applications, what is happening? What's up? What's hot in lead? You are mute, sir.
Volume.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah,
Chandekar.
please.
The lead acid battery market is growing. I
Yeah.
think right now the size is about a $4.4 billion market in India,
Mhm.
lead acid battery market, and this is expected to reach about almost $7 billion in the next
Okay.
years. So there is good growth. This is coming primarily from the automotive sector, but also there is very good growth in the industrial sector.
Yeah.
We see it not just telecom business, but we see other applications also going forward. Specifically, there is a mandate that all solar power generators now need to have backup power. If they are supplying power to the grid, they need to have at least 4 hours of backup power. So this is leading to a lot of demand for batteries, and the lead acid batteries are getting a big chunk of this.
Mhm.
The Prime Minister's Surya Ghar Muft Bijli Yojana has seen increased adoption of solar panels. And with this, a lot of people are also implementing inverters to have the backup power option.
Okay.
And then, of course, we have other sectors such as data centers and the global capability centers that are coming up, the GCCs. So all
Mhm.
of them are also driving demand for backup power, and lead acid batteries are getting a big chunk of this.
Okay. But
So
presently the current the most of the demand of lead is for batteries only, right?
absolutely, yeah.
Around 70-80% you are saying.
Yes, 70 or 80%. And the other 30% is for other sectors. It could be like, radiation. It could be for,
Mhm.
oxides. It could be for
Mhm.
manufacture of stabilizers. It could be for sheets, cables, and so on. So
Mhm. You were saying something about the nuclear reactors also. Lead is required for
yeah,
insulation.
so it's also required in the, if any nuclear power generation is set up, you also need it for the radiation.
Okay.
So, if countries start to adopt more nuclear power, we see that happening in Europe to some extent. because they have a serious shortage of
For
gas.
radiation means insulating the radiation, right?
Yes.
For
It is
insulating the
actually
radiation.
lead bricks in the reactor
Reactor
wall.
also, yes, they use lead bricks.
Lead bricks.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that
They
they,
are okay. They are used in the reactor.
yeah.
So that can be a big application in future if
It-
countries turn to nuclear power.
It's being done for a long time.
Hmm.
Lead bricks.
And what about the exports? I mean, lead is the lead being exported?
Absolutely. In fact, in India, a lot of recyclers, in India, there is only one primary lead producer,
Hmm.
Hindustan Zinc. The rest of the demand for lead in the country comes from secondary recycling.
Hmm.
Almost 700 to 800,000 tons of lead demand is met by secondary recyclers. And a lot of them, in fact, export the lead also. So lead
Okay.
is being exported to Southeast Asia, lead is being exported to, LME registered warehouses. In fact, I was just having a discussion today with someone, and they were saying something like 90% of the lead in the Singapore LME warehouse is by Indian producers.
Okay. Okay. But you are saying that total production, Indian production is around 1.25 million tons, right?
Yes.
And out of that, zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.7 million tons is recycled.
Yeah, probably even higher
I
amount.
mean, the 60-70% of
Two-third.
the lead production is recycled production.
Two-third is recycled,
Oh,
Tandek.
okay,
Two-third.
okay. Two-third is
One third.
recycled.
One-third is primary plus imports.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
plus imports, sir. That's right. Primary itself is only about, I think, maybe 300, 350,000.
Okay, okay, okay. And what is the scenario in zinc sector, Dr. Rahul? Recycling happens in zinc? You are mute.
Yeah, so recycling is happening in the zinc industry, but not in the tune of Europe, Europe and North America, they are pretty organized market, but I will say India is comes under unorganized market, right?
Hmm.
So many alloyers, alloy makers, they are collecting zinc scrap and making, zinc alloys and
Hmm.
then, sending it back into the market, but for the inferior applications,
Hmm.
because for aesthetically good and functional applications, where functionality is critical. So there it is recommended that the end user, the manufacturers, they should use the virgin alloys, Virgin
Hmm.
alloys means like made from the virgin special high grade zinc, For non-critical applications, I will say this scrap is also fine, That's one thing.
Hmm.
Now, then apart from that, you must have seen that India have a big secondary steel industry, secondary steel industry.
Yeah.
And they are importing a lot of steel scrap from Middle East, from Europe,
Hmm.
And these scrap contains galvanized steel scrap also, right?
Yes.
So in the process of melting, what happens? Because zinc has a low melting point, 419 degree, right? And
Yeah.
steel have got a high melting point. So uh, in the process, these zinc fumes, it evaporates. It evaporates with the oxides, iron oxides. So
Hmm.
it is collected by the secondary steel players, and they call it steel dust, right? Steel dust.
Hmm.
So steel dust contains almost 40 to 50% of zinc component.
Oh.
Yeah. So in last 5, 6 years, I've seen in India approximately uh, I will say 10 to 15 companies, they have established, you know, what do you say, wall skilling process. That's a process, wall skilling process, by
Hmm.
which they extract zinc from this steel dust. And it's a very profitable business.
Oh,
Yeah. So
that's
this market is,
interesting.
yes. So this market is growing.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Let me amplify that point,
Yeah, yeah, please.
Tandekar. You talked about recycling of zinc.
Yeah.
I remember some 40 years back, India used to make secondary zinc.
Hmm.
Whatever zinc containing scrap,
Hmm.
from that they used to recover zinc, secondary zinc,
Hmm.
and they were supplying it to bucket galvanizers, nuts, bolts, fastener galvanizers, and all. That was a very old story. But what has been happening for the last maybe 4 decades or so, whatever zinc containing waste arising from galvanizing plants, zinc ash from the galvanizer, the top layer is oxidized layer. Zinc, molten zinc bar, 450 degrees centigrade. The top layer gets oxidized continuously. It is skimmed off and then disposed of as zinc ash. That contains plenty of zinc,
Okay.
58, 60%, 65, whatever percentage.
Mm-hmm.
And that zinc ash completely in this country is being converted into zinc sulfate through a chemical reaction.
Okay.
Zinc ash plus sulfuric acid, zinc sulfate, which is the main agricultural micronutrient used in the country, across the country. Our Indian soils contain lesser zinc because of repetitive crops, kharif and rabi and multiple crops and all that. So the zinc levels have gone down, and you have to continuously replenish the zinc content in the soil, and the farmers buy zinc sulfate and spray it along with the NPK, urea and all that in the agricultural soil. That is one part of the story. And the other point I want to mention, Tandekar,
Yeah.
Rahul knows, and maybe it's a new information for Sandeep. While galvanizing, one is the top zinc ash I told you. There is another one which forms and settles at the bottom of the kettle, zinc dross. That is an intermetallic compound, and that contains 97, 98% zinc. The bottom draws, that is also removed and disposed of to scrap merchant. Do you know where it goes? It is used for manufacture of zinc oxide for rubber industry, paints and pigments, electronic industry. The dross is also converted into what I'm trying to tell. The waste arising from galvanizing plant, we are converting into useful industrial and agricultural chemicals. That is the recycling we are doing now.
Yeah.
The important point here, we are short of zinc ash and zinc dross. Many of them are importing from Gulf countries, Southeast Asia, Nepal, Bangladesh, zinc ash and zinc dross, and they are converting it. Can you believe that? So that's the story about zinc.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is
Interesting.
that right, Rahul? I think Rahul will. Yeah.
Yeah, you are right, sir. You are right.
Yeah.
I mean,
That is
no,
circular economy. That is circular economy we are
Yeah.
doing.
yeah,
Nothing is thrown out. Nothing is thrown out. Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I wanted to ask one question to Mr. Ramesh.
Hmm.
Mr. Ramesh, the lead is supposed to be environmentally hazardous. So what precautions are we taking? What precautions need to be taken? And some
So,
light on that issue.
so I think firstly, Chandrakarji, at the dealer level itself, they need to take precautions when the waste batteries come in to store them. It
Yeah.
needs to be on a platform which is properly covered, and then you need to make sure there is no leakage. The batteries also have to be strapped and shrink wrapped. For example, when we import batteries in containers, they are absolutely shrink wrapped and sealed so there can be no spillage. And on top of that, they are put on pallets, they're strapped onto the pallets, and there is sawdust. So even in the very offbeat remote chance that there is some leakage, nothing actually gets spilled into the container. And once they come into the factory itself, we take a host of measures. We have a separate battery storage platform area where it is completely acid-proof lined, the entire floor, and it's in a slope. So what if there is any spillage of acid, it goes off to a separate drain, which connects to our effluent treatment plant, where we actually treat the acid with lime to neutralize it. And then from there, the batteries are, loaded into a conveyor, and then it goes into a battery breaking machine, which is a fully automatic machine, which crushes the batteries and then separates them into grids and paste and plastic. The grids and paste go back into processing in the furnace. The plastic and the separators are washed with high jet, high pressure water twice before they are then cleaned and then bagged and separately disposed of to plastic recycling. So it's a very contained process in a very enclosed environment and our pollution control equipment is very comprehensive. We use a heat exchanger, a scrubber, we have a bag house, we have a dust settling chamber. And after passing through all of this, only then is the cleaned and treated air disposed of through the stack.
There must be
And
very
also,
strict government
also,
regulations also.
Absolutely. There are government regulations. We submit reports every quarter, testing for lead in the soil, lead in the ambient air, lead in the stack. Those reports are they're tested by an accredited NABL accredited lab
I
and
know.
submitted to the Pollution Control Board.
Okay, okay.
also Sandeep,
Yeah,
you should highlight the use of PPE by the
Absolutely.
workforce. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
something you should highlight. PPE.
all our workers, we ensure wear proper gloves, proper boots, gum boots, masks, and of course, helmets.
Mhm.
And we make sure that every worker is given 2 uniforms. And at the end of each day, a shower is compulsory. And the uniforms are again laundered with special detergent to remove any traces of lead.
Okay,
And when they come back the next day, they have to again wear a new laundered uniform. So we make
okay.
sure that no lead is even leaving the premises.
Yeah,
And even before they eat any meal, we ensure that they actually wash their hands with a special solution. So in case there is anything, it's completely removed before they
Mhm.
eat.
Actually, Mr.
Yes,
Chandekar,
yes, sir.
for all metals, particularly those which are hazardous and toxic,
Yeah,
there are safe practices. Let me tell you, electricity kills you immediately, electricity, but you know how to use it safely. Similarly, mercury will kill you. But the moment you go to a doctor with fever, he puts a mercury in glass thermometer into your mouth. Do you
yeah,
stop him? Do you stop him? Don't put the mercury in glass thermometer in my mouth. Do you stop him? Similarly, gas as a fuel. Today, housewives in Bihar and UP and everywhere, they are using gas for cooking, etc. They know how to use it safely. Similarly, lead also, there was an image, lead is toxic, etc. But today, many countries are using it. You just go and see Gravita in Jaipur, Nile in Hyderabad, maybe Oxide in Chennai. There are
yeah,
many more chloride metals in the coastal regions in West Bengal. Go and see the plant, how they are using it. Head to foot, you are protected. Shop floor, the drainage, water, etc. Everything is recycled. There are safe practices. We have to follow them. That's it.
yeah,
Informal
yeah,
sector has to disappear. Informal sector has to disappear.
yeah,
Not only in lead, for electronic waste and other waste also. We have to disappear. That's
Mhm.
where we are failing. The regulatory body and the industry collectively we have failed because we are still talking about informal sector despite India being an advanced developed country. Technology, manpower, knowledge, skill, everything is here. We are
Yeah,
not
yeah.
Somalia. You are not Somalia. You are not a small country where things are not. So we cannot talk about informal sector for decades and decades and decades.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
Something,
that is the biggest challenge. That is the biggest challenge. For my
yeah,
ILSDA, we keep on, Sandeep knows, we keep on harping, getting international experts, getting the regulatory bodies to our conferences, educating them. Be
yeah.
strict. Be strict in implementation monitoring.
Mhm.
Industry also has to show voluntary initiative to have clean practices. Both have to work together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Some things are similar to nuclear plants, you know. Nuclear plants were earlier perceived as very dangerous places.
Absolutely, but
And
everybody is
now
going.
they are one of the safest places. I mean,
Absolutely, yeah,
people
yeah,
give reference of that 50-year-old tragedy in Russia, that
yeah.
Chernobyl or whatever. Uh, but now
Chernobyl,
the
yeah,
technology has advanced so much, and we have gone so much ahead of all that, that
yeah.
there is no need to remember all these things. Anyway,
We are,
so they're good to know that a lot of regulations are there, and the industry is following those regulations, so that the precious metal like lead can be of use to the society. Let's move on to exports. Actually, zinc exports. So, Dr. Rahul, I want to ask you, are there any zinc exports, considerable zinc exports from India? And if yes, where?
Yeah, so India is doing export in the form of finished goods also, as well
Mhm.
as primary ingots also.
Yeah,
So India has a free trade agreement with Korea, with Japan, and few other countries.
yeah.
So anything, because Korea Zinc, again, that's a big entity like Hindustan Zinc.
Mm-hmm.
So the first aim of any zinc producer is to supply and cater locally, right? And anything left over, then they export it because you get a better price realization in the domestic market than in the exports market, right? So Hindustan Zinc is the major source of supplier for Indian consumers, but simultaneously Korea Zinc and few Japanese, zinc producers, they are uh, exporting zinc from their countries to India. And same
Mm-hmm.
Hindustan Zinc is doing, because this is the market, the pie is fixed, right? So anything which is catered by Korea Zinc and the Japanese suppliers, that will fill the gap, So Hindustan Zinc will have some surplus material. So again, they send it to Korea and Japan, and to southeastern countries. So that's regarding the primary ingot and several finished goods. For example, the telecom tower, the galvanizing towers, zinc die-casted components, even the car, body in white, BIW,
Yeah.
like Maruti Suzuki, they are selling their cars to Europe as well as to African countries. So these cars have galvanneal sheet, zinc in it. So these comes under the finished goods, I will say. So India, directly or indirectly, yes, we are exporting a lot of quantity to foreign countries.
Yeah, yeah. Why I asked you this question is I want to, take the discussion to the point that, a lot of, geopolitics today has become very dynamic. We are still negotiating with US for a trade deal and witnessing high tariffs, low tariff fluctuation in the proposed tariff rates from US. There is a war between Russia and Ukraine for a long time. Israel is also not stable. I mean, not neutral. There is a warlike situation there with Hamas and all. So, with all these uncertainties in the world, what effect did it is it having on the metals industry as such, and specifically to lead and zinc industries, Mr. Pook?
You said geopolitical dimensions,
Yes,
etc.
that is always there in all metals, sir.
It's there, but you know what has happened? Let me tell you very clearly before I go to the main theme, geopolitical situation. India is largely domestic consumption driven.
Okay.
Our own activities in construction, infrastructure, automobile is
Hmm.
driving the economy
Yeah.
for a long time. That's why consistently your GDP is 6%, 6.2, 6.5, 6.6, etc. That's the reason. Now we had two zinc producers, one is gone, Binani Zinc is not there. So the only player is Hindustan Zinc. And whatever zinc they are producing is selling like hot cake. What
Okay.
Rahul mentioned about South Korea and Japan, there is an FTA with South Korea, there is an FTA with Japan, and you know the growth in those countries, particularly Japan is flat. South Korea is not bad, it's going up, but not like 6%, etc. So they know apart from China, India is the biggest market. That's how they have been bringing zinc into this country. But I don't think they are bringing large. Most of the zinc produced in this country is all Hindustan zinc, which is going to all the galvanizers, die casters, alloy makers, everybody. But what Rahul said, as I said, I also endorse. For a long time, Chandekar, India has been exporting GI pipes, galvanized steel pipe. We have been exporting for a long time, value-added product. Galvanized sheet, color-coated sheet, we are exporting. Die-cast components, zinc die-cast components from Sundaram, Dynacast and other companies, they are going to European cars. Die-cast, zinc die-cast value-added component. Isn't it very nice? India is exporting more of value-added product and most of the zinc, primary zinc is consumed within the country. Hindustan Zinc does little bit of export, not a big export, but the market is so huge, they are expanding continuously. Today they are 1.2 million tons capacity they are wanting to touch. Zinc, lead, silver, everything put together. Maybe in another 4-5 years, they want to reach 1.5 million ton. Long term, they want to go for 2 million ton. They are also gearing up. Just like steel capacity, zinc capacity also is going to increase. So that's the story about zinc regarding domestic market or
Yeah, yeah.
export market. Yeah.
Sir, why I asked you this, why I asked this question is that, see, few years back it was true that the mostly Indian economy is driven by the domestic consumption, and we are very little to offer to international community and very little to get from international community. But today, if you see, sir, out of GDP as a international trade as a percentage of GDP, if you see, it is around 45%. And out of that, exports is around 21.5% and imports is around 23.5%. So that makes it 45%. So it is not less. I mean, it is substantial. So that is why I wanted to, know from you people that what is the contribution of zinc and lead, metals like zinc and lead in this international trade, whether imports or exports.
Mostly, Tandekar, if you look at the import item, most of it is crude oil,
Import
right?
items, I mean.
Not metals. Most of it is crude oil that India has been
Okay,
importing.
okay, okay.
That's why our friend Trump is very unhappy. You are
Mhm.
buying most of your oil from Russia, etc.
Yeah, yeah,
And then fertilizer, etc.
yeah.
And then we are also importing some metals like nickel, cobalt, etc., which we are not producing in this country 1 gram. I
Mm.
forgot to touch upon that globe political scenario. 40 years back, every country had high custom duties, trade barriers. Then
Hmm.
the world started talking about free trade, etc. Then you had WTO coming in, World Trade Organization. Then you had GATT, General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, GATT came. So everybody was going for lower duties. India went for 5% duty,
Yeah,
3%, etc. One person comes to the White House second term and he is, what can I say? Suddenly he says, India is a dead economy. I'll impose duty on them. Today he says, India is my friend. Every day he changes his
yeah,
tunes.
yeah.
And suddenly he has
And
gone
also penalty
penalty,
because we are friends to
penalty,
Russia.
penalty and 150% duty, 100% duty, 200. He has taken the world back by 40 years now.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
are talking against protectionism, and now he's protecting the US economy by high tariffs. Who is going to suffer? The citizens of US, they are going to buy all these items at a higher price.
Hmm.
Don't you think so? They are going to
Yeah,
pay a
yeah,
higher price for
obviously.
Chinese products and Indian products,
Yeah.
Italian products, etc. So ultimately, the US population is going to suffer because of this high tariff.
And just for your information, sir, our exports in the month of August, September, and October have not reduced. They have
Yeah,
not reduced. So we have compensated for whatever we have lost in the US with US trade. We have compensated elsewhere. So
you
our
will find
exports are
out.
not hampered to that extent. In fact, I remember Mr. Piyush Goyal on some public platform. He assured the nation that this year the exports will be more than the last year. So I
He
don't
is
know. Anyway,
Piyush
so
Goyal is concentrating more in Gulf countries, Southeast Asian countries,
yeah,
where
even
he can
Africa is a
export.
growing
Forget
market
about
now.
US. So you export to Southeast Asia, export to Europe, export to even Middle East. Forget about US.
Okay, so this is the scenario. So
Yeah,
we conclude that lead and
no, no.
zinc are not much affected
One
like that.
second. One
Yeah,
second. Ask Sandeep. He's not Ramesh. Ramesh is his father. Ask Sandeep and
yeah, yeah.
Rahul
Sorry,
also.
sir. Yeah, yeah. Mr. Sandeep, what is your experience from lead perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't see any slowdown at all. I only see growing demand. In fact, we keep getting inquiries in from other countries. And I think if this India-EU FTA gets signed, then we maybe might be, exporting to a completely new continent also, a new set of customers.
So
So
your exports have not hampered. I mean,
absolutely
not
not.
affected.
No.
Good.
And
That's
same may be
good.
the case with zinc, Dr. Rahul.
Yes,
What
you
is
are
your
right. I
take?
mean, as far as zinc supply is concerned, I mean, because of this, new tariffs that have been imposed by USA on India, I don't think that, maybe less than 1%, that's the impact.
Yeah, so
The less than the
negligible.
1%, yeah, negligible, I will say. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that has been compensated by increased export in other countries, in the new territories, uncharted territories, I will say. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, we are coming to the end of this session, and I would, before closing, I would like to ask, final comments or what do you think of the foreseeable future in your respective industry? I would start from Mr. Sandeep. Mr. Sandeep, how do you see a future of lead industry in, say, 5 years from hence?
I see a good future. I think there will be a single-digit growth, not single-digit growth. While some applications there might be a loss of use, I think in some other applications lead will grow. So I think net it will be a good, a positive.
And there'll be rise in production, like
Yes.
you see
I think
growth in production also,
more and more secondary recyclers and capacity is being increased. So
and
I
new applications, something like that.
no, not new applications, but yeah, probably energy storage is one area where I think there'll be
Yeah, yeah,
a demand.
that can grow. Okay. Thank you very much. Dr. Rahul, what is your take, say 5 years from hence?
Yeah, I will say now every government is very serious regarding, sustainable development. So they want to use sustainable materials which can be recycled, which are green, which have low carbon footprints. So zinc definitely falls into that. So I will say that there is a bright future for zinc. Then apart from that, next generation batteries and energy storage.
Mhm.
So probably this will be an alternative to the lithium ion for grid scale energy storage and potentially electric vehicles also. So ongoing R&D and innovative, cathode breakthroughs are expected to overcome current technical hurdles and enable wider adoption. So Government of India has also recently launched PLI, Performance Link Incentive for the advanced cell chemistries and various foreign entities. They have shown interest in various type of zinc based batteries, for example zinc bromide batteries, zinc air batteries, zinc ion batteries, zinc nickel batteries, so several permutation and combination. So I will say, future is very bright for zinc, very bright, yeah.
Any demands from policymakers? I wanted to ask this question to Mr. Sandeep also. Any demands, anything that you want from the policymakers, government?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, increase recycling efforts. So, like in Europe and in North America, whatsoever zinc goes into the market, I will say more than 95% comes back into the recycling yard. The same thing is not happening in India. We are lacking back from those countries, So I will say government should frame a policy so that the material which is being sold in the market after the end of service life comes to the recycling yard, and I will that's the way for sustainable.
Okay, okay. Mr. Sandeep, some demands from the government?
So I would have three requests. One would be to reduce the GST on scrap batteries
Okay,
from
okay,
18% to 5%, because now that what happens is a lot of it goes off to the informal sector. So,
okay.
you need to reduce the GST to make sure it's a level playing field,
Hmm.
so that, this misrepresentation and this diversion doesn't happen. The second thing is to increase the floor price of the EPR credits. So this is an incentive to formal recyclers. So again, create a level playing field with the informal sector by giving us some credit for, instituting a comprehensive pollution control setup and for complying with all the measures in our
Yeah.
recycling process. That is the second thing. And the third thing I would request is to allow for, relaxation in imports of greater volumes of raw materials. So if
Hmm.
you're allowed to import larger volumes of raw materials, that
Okay.
automatically creates a balance with the domestic pricing of raw materials domestically. So yeah, these would be my three requests.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Poop, your last word, last comments, closing comments.
Mine is a 2-point agenda. One is, very well, zinc or galvanizing gives a very long maintenance free protection, 40, 50 years, 60 years. It's a proven fact, and that's how telecom towers, railway electrification towers, transmission lines, they are all standing there for a long time. So it's a proven product, galvanized steel products. Now, unfortunately, the government always believes in L1, in tendering, and municipal corporations and some of the state government fund is not there. Let's go for painting. Painting is cheaper, but every 2 years you'll be painting. Whereas galvanizing, you don't have to do any touch up.
Yeah.
So this concept of L1, look for quality, look for performance. Don't have this L1 in your mind for generations to come. It may be cheaper. Let me tell you, galvanizing is slightly costlier than paint. But if you look at the life it gives, 40, 50,
Absolutely,
60
absolutely.
year life cycle costing will prove that galvanizing is cheaper than paint. This is something not known awareness. No? Rahul has been doing
We
seminar.
discussed the same thing in the morning when we discussed stainless steel.
Yeah, see, this is the point. If you look at something else, you're obsessed with the L1 and tendering, low cost and all that. Wherever durability, performance have improved, you go for them, even if you pay for more. So that is one point I want to mention. That is about zinc. And here, let me tell you, in government itself, there are many engineers who are not aware of the life cycle advantages of galvanizing. They only would say BIS specification number, let's go for this. But why you are using galvanizing for long-term protection, that they are not aware. And if you come down to civil engineers, builders, architects, construction companies, they completely are not aware. We have been doing programs, ISET, regionally also, Chennai, Bangalore, Nepal, where all I done programs, I don't know. So this regional program we are doing in our own way, but the government should realize this needs a mandate, a proven product, even if it is higher, go for it. So that is one point, lack of awareness and clarification at the government level with regard to zinc. And let me tell you, whatever our friend Sandeep has said is true. Lead is such a safe product, can be used, and it's lead battery, incidentally, it's 165-year-old battery product. Storage battery, we called it, we used to call lead accumulator. Today you're calling it as lead batteries, energy storage. Rahul talked about renewable, etc. So it's there everywhere. And then it's recycle, reuse, recycle, reuse. Today you're talking about recycle, triple R, and this triple R we have been practicing for a long time. Circular economy, two-thirds is all recycled and used in batteries. Only small amount we are importing, and maybe primary lead from Hindustan Zinc. So I think circular economy is being practiced, but the regulatory bodies, state pollution control boards are inactive. They take money, give you any approval letter you want, any renewal letter you want, any consent you want, you can. There are registered units, authorized units in this country. By paying money, they got the authorization or registration. All state board, police control board are doing this. I don't know how many Supreme Court orders they will wait for till they become clean. So, Ministry of Environment, Forest, Central Pollution Control Board, State Pollution Control Board, if they had played their duties properly, informal sector today we would not have discussed. Unfortunately, the story is very sad. So regulatory bodies have to tighten their belts, and we in the industry we have been educating, but that's only a marginal effort. Only when the policeman is strict, people will be having a fear of law, fear for life, fear for death, etc. So the regulatory bodies have to tighten their monitoring and implementation. That's all I would like to say.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pook. And I think we discussed the lead and zinc for about an hour, and now time to close. I would like to thank Mr. Sandeep, Dr. Rahul, and Mr. Pugasanti for sparing their time, and it was really a very insightful discussion. Actually, we learned a lot of things about lead and zinc, especially lead, which is a lesser known metal, to say so, but extremely important as far as applications are concerned, and even zinc, we could know some very good insights from Dr. Rahul and of course Mr. Pugasanti. Mr. Pugasanti should be called as metallurgy ambassador of the country, actually.
Why? They are also ambassadors. They are also ambassadors.
Yes.
So
So
we are
I
all,
mean, it
we
was
are all,
really very good discussion, and thank
we
you
are,
very much, all the experts, gentlemen. And here we close. Thank you.
we are,
Thank you,
we
sir.
are
Thank
not
you.
ambassadors. We are crusaders.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye. Thank you. Bye bye. Good.